This week's market update is hopefully some good news for you and your buyers. We've actually seen some improvements in the interest rates over the last 4 or 5 days that have contributed to some better pricing for our interest rates. So if you've got some buyers that are looking out there, just know their interest rates are improving. Hopefully the next couple of days continue that trend and we can continue to see these rates moving in a downward trend. Now, the market has shown that this happens for a time and then it reverses and we're getting this wave kind of action, and right now we're in a downward wave with those rates. So keep that in mind heading into the weekend, that those rates are a little bit lower and that buyer might have a little bit of a less interest rate. So make sure you're reaching out to your loan officer and talking about how that might affect the buyer. Today, let's talk about closing cost assistance, seller concessions. Seller concessions is money provided from the seller to the buyer to help pay towards closing cost points, temporary buy downs. It cannot be used to pay for down payment, but it can be a huge tool to help a buyer that maybe has little to no funds help get into a house with little to no money. Now, what's important to know about seller concessions is that each loan program has a certain percent that they're allowed as a maximum seller concessions. For USDA and FHA, that percent is 6% of the sales price. So a $200,000 sales price equals $12,000 max in seller concessions. If you're talking about conventional, it depends on the down payment that the buyer is doing. So that's where it's really important to talk with the loan officer and find out how much are they putting down, therefore how much are they allowed to ask in seller concessions. Because if you ask for too much and we can't use it, then that must go back to the seller and it's wasted money. For a VA loan, that amount is pretty much undefined, but as much as the buyer is able to use. So if it's being used to closing costs or points, we can allow it. If it's an investment property, you're capped at 2% if you're going with a conventional loan. So keep that in mind. Don't ask for more than what you can use. If you want other information about seller concessions, give me a call. Let's talk about it, and I'll be happy to help. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.